Good evening, folks. This is your man Donald King. Is in the building tonight. How are y'all doing? Hope you're doing good. Wild days these days, huh? You know, the other day, my brother Ali, he shot a podcast featuring me, and he was sort of doing an interview. And upon watching the interview back, I was reminded of my Achilles heel, and that is sort of recounting stories that happened as part of my real life experience. Because I sort of think three dimensionally or seven dimensionally, however you want to rock it, I have a tendency to bounce everywhere. Kind of like that video I posted from TikTok with the guy describing how a person who is dyslexic thinks with a 3D mind. It's like you're filling in a little here, a little there. Sometimes things get flipped around, but I noticed that I was jumping around a lot, and I wasn't really happy with how I did in that interview because it's like I seemed a bit scatterbrained. But I'm going to post it anyway as soon as he's done editing the version he wants to share because I have nothing to hide. I'm not afraid of taking hits to the identity. I'm not afraid of anybody calling me crazy or scatterbrained. Or I got a homeboy, George, who calls me Zagatron Don. Think like an alien apparently to him. But I'm not scared. I'm not scared to look bad in order to make a bigger point. Which brings us to the point of tonight's podcast. What are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds of me being crazy? What are the odds of the things that I'm saying actually being true? What are the odds of everything? Probability, plausibility, possibility. What are the odds? I've been doing this avatar work for 13 plus years. If you've been paying attention, and by paying attention, I mean you've actually investigated some of the things that I've said and really tried to understand where I'm coming from, you will have witnessed in real time me do things you've never seen anyone do before. It's not a brag, it's true. It's true. I don't do these things because, Donald King is a genius. I do them because I'm hosting a function of reality. That function of reality is using me kind of like a puppet. It's like, hey, say these things. Make these sort of impacts here. Make these ripple effects there. All by putting out concepts into the ether and letting them affect society in the way that they will. Now, a lot of people take issue with the fact that I claim to be an avatar, right? And that is mostly due to the fact that humans already have strong beliefs regarding what an avatar is, especially when considering it through the sort of ideological vein of Hinduism, from whence the term derives. And I got into this with my brother Ali in his podcast, but in the Hindu faith system, an avatar is supposed to be a divine teacher. And more important than a divine teacher, it is a sort of fleshly manifestation of a deity. I house the entity commonly referred to in the Christian faith system as Holy Ghost or Holy Spirit. It has resided in individuals prior to my lifetime, and every person who houses this entity, everybody who's its apartment, for lack of a better expression, is an avatar. I'm an avatar. Kind of like in the game of Super Mario Brothers. If you're playing with Mario, Mario is your avatar. The avatar perspective, or Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost, or whatever you want to call it, it's using me in this game. of society. Therefore, I'm akin to Mario. I am a thing outside the system we perform in, that functions and operates outside the system we perform in, is using to accomplish tasks with inside this realm. Now, that seems like a really far stretch. And I'm saying this as a former pragmatist. Like, especially a person who was of the materialist view. Someone who thought that everything in reality should somehow fit into the systems of measurement and the instruments humans had achieved towards making sense of the world around them and their place and value within it. But it goes to a bigger question. What are the odds that I'm a crazy person versus what are the odds of me being an avatar? Statistically. Now, you watch me do things you've never seen anyone do before. If you can't tell that I'm doing things you've never seen anyone do before, you're a narcissist. Hands down. And that's not me saying, oh, believe me, or you're a narcissist. It's saying, no. Go back and actually pour through the data. Nobody else can do universal math in the history of the species. You know how I know? Because if somebody else could do universal math after I put out part 1 nearly a decade ago, somebody would have built on part 2, 3, and 4. But they can't. I got them on cue. Organizing intelligence. I broke down parasitic intelligence versus natural intelligence in a way that no one else has. And there were a few little twists and turns in there so no one could take it, that I still get a chance to go back and fix in the coming installments, but you've never seen anyone do it before. You've never seen anyone explain the ego parasite as a physical parasite that feeds on hormones and neurotransmitters, which controls perception and uses perception to alter reality in the mind of the human host towards sort of coercing them to indulge in substances and behaviors that will produce or result in the production of higher chemicals for it to subsist on. You gotta forgive me, I've got some nasal issues going on right now. So that's disgusting. But anyway, yeah. That's another thing about my interview with Ali, man. It's like I had some nasal issues, so it's like I sounded real nasally on the front end. But yeah, you never seen this stuff done before. What are the odds that I'm crazy? What are the odds that my mind is defective? These are real questions. These are questions I have to grapple with myself. Having an atypical experience in life does not by default make you crazy. If it did, then every person who is, by conventional standards, a genius is insane. And every person who is, or who is, I guess for lack of a better expression, enlightened in any way, shape, or form, they are insane if having an atypical experience in life by default sort of relegates you to mental defectiveness. But the reason why I mention this is because it's like I consistently demonstrate that it's like I have a solid frame of reference. I'm very self-aware. I have a good sense of humor. I laugh at myself. I laugh at other people. I don't take myself too seriously. I don't feel the need to protect my identity at all costs, which sort of takes narcissism off the table. What are the odds that I'm crazy? Is Donald having an atypical experience, or is he mentally defective? You can interact with me in person. You can interact with me online. You're going to get the same thing. I'm consistent. The things that I've been saying have remained consistent. What are the odds that I'm crazy? But that's a boring question because that's about me. All right. Let me ask you some questions at the species level, right? What are the odds that humans understand everything that there is to know about reality from their present perfect position in the, I guess, the growth path of intellectualism? And I'll figure out a better way to say that. But what are the odds that humans are omniscient at this point in their intellectual development as a species? Why do I ask that question? Because if you're not omniscient, you can't say how things are. You can't say how all of reality is. Humans are reverse engineering the world around them, trying to figure out how everything works. What are the odds that reality was here, was intact as a system before humans were here? Humans think that reality emerges from their imagination, with your double slit blind studies and whatever. You think reality emerges from your imagination, solipsism. What are the odds that reality would emerge from human imagination? What are the odds that reality would emerge from human imagination? And I know that's not the exact definition of solipsism, but that's what it sums to in principle. What are the odds that reality would emerge from human imagination if humans could not exist on Earth before there was an atmosphere? Aha! Aha! See, before there could be humans, there had to be Earth. Before there could be Earth, there had to be a solar system. Before there could be a solar system, there had to be a star system. Humans were nowhere to be found when all of these astronomical phenomena were forming, developing. They weren't here when the sun was emerged as a star. All of these things had to be in place before humans could be here. So what are the odds that humans are creating reality as they go? And I'm reading principles, so some of this might come out sloppy, but what are the odds? If reality was here before you, and reality was an organized system that was in place before your species, before this star system, before the body of this universe and the species it belongs to, if reality was a system that was well in place well before all of these things, what are the odds that humans are masters over reality? If reality already has rules and systems in place, what are the odds that a function of reality could take up residence inside of a human host? Getting back to the point, you're quick to discount the fact that I could be an avatar, yet you know nothing of reality beyond what you all have learned from reverse engineering what little portion of the planet you've been able to explore from the crust. You've made full agreements with yourselves about reality as a system based on these tiny, tiny tools and tiny, tiny intelligence. What are the fucking odds? You don't know what spirits are. You don't know what ghosts are. You don't know what extraterrestrials are. You don't even know what you are. But you've made firm agreements with yourself that I must be crazy because I'm hosting a thing that doesn't match what you've learned through your little instruments. Are you fucking insane? What are the odds? What are the odds that someone who's explaining things that your fucking species has been toiling over tirelessly, trying to figure out for millennia, a person can explain them in a couple of paragraphs and says it's because he's hosting a function of reality? What are the odds that someone would just step up and have answers you've been searching for millennia and just give them away just because they can? What are the odds of that? You watch me prove principles in real time. You know what's crazy? A lot of these posts, I'll write a post about narcissism, knowing that I'm going to trigger narcissists. And in the post, I get them to proof my assessments in real time, bypassing the scientific method. Scientific method hypothesizes, and then it forms research questions. Then it collects variables, uses statistical models to measure relationships and directions of causality between variables, and then decides whether or not it warrants further research or reaches the null hypothesis, in which case there's not enough evidence to support the assumption that there was a causal relationship between variables. But somehow I get a more accurate fucking readout in real time with a post, knowing that I'm going to trick people into unconsciously participating in something that only verifies what I just said. What are the odds? Can you do that? You ever seen anybody who can? Conduct a study in real time that's more accurate than the scientific method. What are the odds? And this is why I say, if you've been paying attention, because if you've been paying attention, then you've noticed me doing this. I'm doing things you've never seen anyone do before. If you're a narcissist, you probably don't like me very much. Like, this guy thinks he's so great. Yeah. Because you're not paying attention. I'm telling you this as a former narcissist and as a former pragmatist and materialist. I've witnessed all sorts of mentally talented people in my life. I've rubbed shoulders with geniuses. Of all the geniuses I've rubbed shoulders with, no one can do this. No one. And I don't even take personal credit for it because, again, I'm hosting a function of reality. But, again, it just circles back to the question, what are the odds? What are the odds that a person can do all this on their own? What are the odds that maybe there are things in reality that humans haven't discovered or uncovered yet that lend legitimacy to my view and perspective and life experience? What are the odds you know reality better than it knows itself? That's probably the best question. Humans are reverse engineering this planet and making speculations about what exists beyond and on the surface of and below the surface of the planet. You're reverse engineer everything that you know comes from analysis and synthesis. It comes from reverse engineering and theorizing. What are the odds that your reverse engineering and theorizing put you on par with a living, sentient, self-aware system from whence all other systems and or organisms derive? What are the odds? What are the odds you know God better than it knows itself? Let me ask you something. If you're a disease that landed on a body, what are the odds that you understand the body better than it understands itself? If you're a man trying to dominate women as a sexual category, what are the odds you understand women better than they understand themselves? Or vice versa? What are the odds that you know you don't know better than reality? You don't. And if a function of reality occupies a person and is performing through the person, whatever level of talent that entity imbues the person with, you don't know better than the person if something that comes from the system of reality is giving them their intellect. I keep asking this question, what are the odds? But it's the reason why I'm asking this question is to really get you to think about this for a second. Just think. Just loosely apply some sort of statistical model, whatever statistical model you can come up with in your mind, to the chances of things being how they are currently in your mind. If you made a firm agreement with yourself that God isn't real, and most of what you base that on comes from knowledge systems humans have achieved through synthesis and analysis, through reverse engineering the world around them, we still barely even know about this fucking planet. What are the odds that the little systems and tools humans have come up with can explain all of reality? You put faith in human tools and human knowledge systems, and you put more of yourself. You invest more heavily in your belief in human knowledge systems than you do into awareness for the fact that we barely even know this planet, let alone what exists beyond it. Humans just made it to Mars. Apparently they just touched down on the sun. Yeah. You made it to the sun, that's a long ass time to travel. I'm wondering how they got that far, but yeah, that's wait, how many miles is the sun? How long would it travel? What? I gotta sit back and think about that. Like, how long ago did they fire that? That's a long time to travel. What? Okay, I gotta go and investigate that because that's weird. Distance between the sun and Earth. How did you get something that far? What? Because it would have had to been built in like the 60s to make it out to the sun. Did we have materials that were that dense? I'm confused. I gotta figure that out. I gotta go investigate that. But still, can't made it past. We're making it towards the edge of this solar system, maybe beyond. I don't know. But this solar system is not even the entire Milky Way galaxy. What are the odds you could put more faith in human knowledge systems and instruments than you can in the obvious fact that reality is so much bigger than what we give it credit for being. So much more complex. We're still learning about this fucking planet. We're still learning about this planet. You're like, oh, if we can't prove it through human knowledge systems, then it's not real. You know how fucking stupid you sound. You sound dumb. If you can't prove it using scientific method. Let me pull this in. It's like I'm looking all far back. Yeah. What's up with y'all tonight? Y'all good? Man, that's like I was on the fence about what to talk about tonight because I got some other stuff I wanted to get into, but I think this is a good line of questioning. I was hoping I get a little interaction going on tonight, but maybe not so much, and that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So, I might cut it short. Because maybe I got to my point a little quicker than I thought I was going to. It's a really simple premise. A lot of you all make decisions based on authority. Authority is never right. What are the odds of authority being right? You know what authority is? It's the power to determine meanings, order, and the outcome of events. Authority is fundamentally removed from reality. And authority is about control. Reality is about adaptation. The very second you go from adaptation to control, you start entering into a delusional state. When you start entering into a delusional state, you become fundamentally divorced from reality and you lose the ability to keep track of information and changes occurring in real time. Yet you guys blindly put trust in academia. You blindly put trust in things that represent power and authority at the social systemic level. And they're never right. They're never right. What are the odds that they would be this time? Or they're conditionally right. Not in the grand scheme of reality, but as compared to what was considered or thought before or in comparison to others. But what are the odds? What are the odds? Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up here because it's like I think I'm beating a dead horse at this point. Guys, y'all already know what it is. This is Sorting and Sorting Principles with Donald King. I am Avatar Cycle 13. I am an avatar. That means I'm hosting a function of reality. It's kind of using me like a puppet to make bigger impacts, not on just the world, but throughout the universe on different scales of plane, and all these little ripple effects that I'm making by all these principles I'm putting out. They are shaping events on this scale of plane and scale of plane above and scale of plane below. And yeah, man, it's just, this is all part of a huge shift that's going to occur in the body of the universe. Right now, we're under attack from a parasitic twin universe, and system of reality is called a cease and a halt to all corruption. And it says, hey, y'all, the one universe, one sibling is attacking and destroying the other. But y'all about to become a conjoined twin. All aggressor parasites in the corrupt twin, you better learn how to adjust out of that, or I'm going to have to purge the corruption out of you from the principal realm once you've passed on from the mortal coil. My job as Avatar is to explain principles of reality to you and help you learn how to adapt into reality as a system so that you can reverse as many negative impacts as you've made on the system of reality and clean up as many messes as you've made, caused, and contributed to before reality has to clean your messes up for you, because you don't want to know what it charges. You don't want to know what it charges. So anyway, guys, I shoot these podcasts on Mondays and Wednesdays on Facebook Live. I also file these podcasts over to my YouTube channel. And, also upload content to Instagram. And I post content to Medium, parable stories, things that are designed to help you all understand these principles on a more relatable level. And then I'll post essays and things of that nature as well. The goal, again, is to give you all as many tools as I possibly can to help you understand the system of reality before this body expires and the entity that I'm hosting right now becomes untethered from me and goes on a cleaning spree. Guys, if you want to do anything to help yourself through this process, I implore that you do what you can to help yourself. What you can do is help clear the path for this entity to be heard. You can do that by donating to the cause. My Patreon is Avatar Cycle XIII, Avatar Cycle 13. Oh, pardon me. And you can also cash app your boy a little bit of love at Nana Kang. Proceeds go to helping me get things organized on this end so I can focus more on this work, more on really translating principles into English. Hopefully I do a better job than I did tonight, because I feel like I sucked in this podcast. But the proceeds go to helping me get things organized on this end. And what you do to help this function of reality be heard is, in essence, helping reality itself. If you do reality as solid, so far as what I can tell, based on what I see through Avatar perspective, if you try to help reality, reality will help you. It'll assist you. So help this thing be heard. You're helping yourself. So donate if you can. Even if you can't donate, share the content as best you can. Direct people towards me. Do what you can to try and help this thing be heard. And it works to your benefit. It does. So I think I was distracted tonight. You know what I'm saying? I felt distracted. I don't know. But I just got done baking. I had a lot of stuff to do today. And I think that there's some thought pertaining to tonight's subject that seems to be escaping me in the moment. And right now, I think I feel distracted trying to remember what it was. And maybe that's what threw me off. I don't know. But hey, I show up and I try. So I do every day. I hope this wasn't as bad as my podcast. That podcast, as soon as my brother is done editing it, I'm gonna upload it. It was bad, but it was. I want people to see me fuck up. I want this to be dirty. One thing that I really want to do with Avatar Cycle this time is demystify it. Like every now and again, you got all these people coming around claiming to be Messiah figures and all this other stuff, and they all they do is regurgitate and rehash a bunch of shit that people said before them, and a lot of what they regurgitate and rehash is stuff that they picked up from other avatars, and then remixes that other people put on them with little spins here and there and stuff like that. Now I'm trying to demystify this all the way. I want you to see me do this sloppy. I don't want to be idealized in any way, shape, or form. I want you to see every fuck up. I want you to see when I have acne blemishes and when it's like I'm looking rough. I want you to see the human side of this. I want you to know how much I love women, and even though it's like I'm a serial monogamist, it's weird. It's a weird combination. But I want you to see this be messy. I want you to see this. No idealism. I don't want you to no worship, none of those other things. Now I want you to see every element of this that makes it so that it's something relatable. and something that's accessible and something that's, I guess the easiest way to say it is, I used to be a narcissist. I used to be a pragmatist. I used to be a know-it-all. And if you could see how far I've come compared to where I was before, if I can do it, why can't you? In my mind, you're always better than me anyway. Guys, y'all already know what it is. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. And just a quick recap of the subject of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Really start thinking about the odds of things. Really start thinking about the odds of things. What are the odds that all of this stuff is just being made up by one dude? I want you to really think about that. All the stuff that you've seen me talking about through the years, all the different, especially if you've been paying attention, do you really think one person's mind is strong enough to come up with all that stuff by himself? And all these different, fields of contemplation, consistent, performs well above convention in all these divergent categories, explains them without working through the knowledge systems, reconfigures the knowledge system and reconfigures the language so that all of the knowledge systems sort of link together above, all without working through academia or relying on science or any set knowledge. What are the odds of someone being able to do this on their own? Is it plausible that a person who had no interest in any of this shit before could make that significant of a leap in intelligence within such a short period of time? And if the things that I've been saying are consistently true, and they are, what are the odds of everything I'm describing pertaining to reality as a system? What are the odds of those things being true? Plausibility. What are the odds that what I'm describing in terms of what happens after death, with things like the distortion, parasitic twin universe, all this stuff. What if I can describe everything over here accurately, better than convention? What are the odds that I'm describing what happens over there accurately too? What are the odds? It's your man. I'm out.